Get ready for the ride of your life. Okay, maybe we're exaggerating a little here, but get ready for a driving tour of this wonderful Irvine alternative that is otherwise known as Lake Forest, California. And yes, if you watch this whole video, you'll even find the answer to the confusing question of why Lake Forest has the word lake in its name. Let's get started. Let's go for a ride. Lake Forest, California, a great Irvine alternative. So let's start out for no particular reason at all other than we are here. We are in the Orchard Shopping Center in Lake Forest. Actually, right around here is Sunny Dumplings, which is so good. But there's tons of stores around here. Sean can tell you about the stores.
Yeah, so this is along El Toro Road. So this is, if there's any main artery to Lake Forest, El Toro Road is it. There are other arteries as well, but this is the commercial, this is the retail corridor. This is pretty huge. So the Orchard is one of several strip malls in that are actually along El Toro Road. So so you can find pretty much everything. Grocery stores, Home Depot, just everything. Everything is along this road here. And then this empties out into the 5 freeway.
Yes. And it's always busy here, no matter what.
El Toro Road is a very busy road. There's no question. So yeah, Lake Forest is kind of a funny area here where you have a lot of it's just kind of a great spot. Again, we refer to Lake Forest as Irvine Light. I know people will give us hate for that. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's got good schools according to niche.com. It doesn't have the notoriety that Irvine, Unified School District has. So this is part of the Saddleback Valley Unified School District. So this is actually encompassing 3 cities, actually more than 3 cities. So it's basically Lake Forest, Laguna Hills, part of Rancho Santa Margarita, and part of Mission Viejo, I believe. So that's it's a pretty good sized school district and rated well. I mean, again, according to niche.com and greatschools.org. Again, Irvine Unified School District ranks higher, but again, it's just I guess it just depends on how high of a level you really want to go as far as that, to go to those most top-rated schools. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dazad.
And I'm Courtney Dazad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the wide streets. I love the beautiful weather. I can't wait to move in here. Now, the problem is I'm not local and maybe out of state. I may be even out of the country, so I don't know what to do. I totally get that. That's when to reach out to us so we can have that conversation, finding out specifically what you're looking for, and we can be your boots on the ground. So while you might be thousands of miles away, we're here hunting for that perfect property for you. We'll do virtual tours of the homes as well as the neighborhoods to really give you a feel of what that home is. So that way, when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country. Yeah, kind of an interesting way to describe Lake Forest. And again, somebody's going to write a huge giant comment about how we have no idea what we're talking about, but I went to grad school in New York, and a friend of mine that had never been to California before came out here, and she was driving around, and she was driving around Irvine, which she really liked, and then she was driving around Lake Forest and kind of just looking at home prices and all that kind of stuff, and she's like, wow, Lake Forest, it's like Irvine, but it's not as expensive. And that's really the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But people in Lake Forest will get really mad if you say that.
Yeah, because and the thing is, a lot of people watch our channel that are really kind of coming in for Irvine in particular. And so sometimes there's these Irvine alternatives that are fantastic alternatives, and Lake Forest is definitely one of them. So it's not quite as expensive as Irvine. And actually the location isn't, let's say, as centrally located as Irvine, but it's literally bordering Irvine, so it's just just south of Irvine. So location-wise is fantastic to go to all the major, employment centers, to the retail centers. Everything's fairly close by Lake Forest. So, and Lake Forest even has newer communities as well, and they have some older communities. When we say older, by Orange County standards, older is a 1970s, that kind of thing. I mean, it's in general, it's not super old. And then you have some stuff that is actually pretty much brand new.
So we're first going to be heading towards Foothill Ranch, which is a very popular part of Lake Forest. kind of like built in the 90s, so it's kind of, it has that flavor. You know, sometimes people will complain about Orange County that everything is like a different shade of beige, and a lot of the stuff that was built in the 90s, I would say it kind of does have that flavor.
Yeah, but you'll see, like, you know, so this is El Toro Road, and again, there's several major arteries, but El Toro is the biggest one. But you have, like, you know, bike paths to the right of us here. These roads, again, like we kind of talked about, these are major, like, again, these are like, you know, 6-8 lanes across at different times. So these are pretty big roads, and I believe you can go, this one's 50 miles per hour, 55 actually, as we're coming up to it. So this is kind of like a freeway or a highway. Mm-hmm. And then this gets you, you know, so we'll just like a straight shot, so we'll hit, like, you know, Foothill Ranch, which, you know, is just on the other side of Portola Highway. And Lake Forest isn't just, you know, residential. It does have, again, like we talked about, retail, like, you know, along El Toro Road, not just El Toro, but like, you know, a big retail presence. Also a lot of actual commercial presence. So actually we're gonna be going down another road called Bake Parkway in a bit, where you can see like kind of with a lot of office buildings and that kind of stuff. Actually, famously, Oakley's headquarters, the sunglass maker, that they used to be actually out of, you know, off of Bake, basically. And you'll see, like, you know, in Lake Forest, you're going, okay, it's called lake and forest, right? So there must be massive lakes or lots of lakes, and then there must be forest all over the place. Well, the forest part is actually pretty legit. So basically you have
for Southern California. I gotta put that in there.
That's a good point. For Southern California, it's pretty legit. So we actually have like a lot of eucalyptus groves here. So it's kind of funny, actually. There was one, like I remember there was this one development in Lake Forest that I was showing properties, and it felt like if you like it felt like a whole Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like Cameron's like house like was like in that forest kind of thing, and I kind of had that vibe to it. So it was actually pretty cool.
Okay, so now we are about to go under, you see that freeway that's right ahead of us, that is the 241, so that is a toll road actually. So, you know, that's just, it's a way to get, we are basically going into Portola Hills, which is a newer construction area of Lake Forest. Very far east, though. This is east for Orange County. But you can, I don't know if you can see on the hills. We'll head up into there and you can see like the newer construction to the left of us. That is Portola Hills.
And Saddleback Mountain's directly in front of us. Mm-hmm. And so just so you know, you notice that that's all undeveloped, right? And so that's nice, but also because of that undeveloped land, it's also elevated fire danger. So It's one of those things that you have to be aware of, that we do live in fire country, and you know, it's just, I don't know what else to tell you. And like, so you just want to do your due diligence, right? So like reach out to us if you have any concerns. We actually have maps from the Orange County Fire Authority of the various elevated fire danger areas, which would mean, one, obviously it's potential, like, you know, although not high, realistically speaking, but definitely potential for more, you know, fires to affect you, whether an evacuation or whatever. So it's one of those things that because of that, getting in like fire insurance here is, one, not as many companies offer it, but two, the ones that do, it's definitely going to cost you more. So it's one of those things that you want to price that out. We want, you know, then that's something we would have that conversation, kind of going, okay, if you're like interested in an area, like I even actually have an insurance agent that I kind of ask, okay, like what would be the potential fire insurance policy for a home, like whatever it is. So that way you find out sooner than later, okay, how insurable is this? Is this going to be a pain? Like, you know, how expensive is it going to be? You know, whether or not it's even worth writing an offer at the end of the day. Because we want to make sure that you're comfortable and you're not even going through the process of doing the other stuff associated getting, you know, the transaction, if it's just not going to work for you budget-wise with the fire insurance. Yeah, so this is Portola Hills that we're in. So this is a pretty new community here, and they're actually like building to this day. Mm-hmm. So again, you know, like these homes are, it's very interesting where you have some homes that have like really nice views. You know, like some people, I mean, so I've had clients that really like this area a lot because it's new constructions, all the newest, latest and greatest. And so they really like, you know, appreciate what these homes have to offer. And at the same time, you know, again, that doesn't come cheap, of course. I mean, these are not inexpensive homes, but it's a really nice area. So this is the Oaks right here. So this is a gated community within Portola Hills. And as you can see, they're like not done building. This is actually, as we speak, it's being built. So again, Orange County doesn't have a ton of new construction, but there are pockets, and Lake Forest offers some of that for sure.
And then I will say, though, that this is pretty far east. So if you're looking for something that's more centrally located, this might not be centrally located enough for you.
Yes.
But because Orange County doesn't have that much new construction, it's really, it's probably not even 1% of the sales, right? It's very low.
Very low.
Whereas the national average, I think, is 30% of sales is new construction.
Yeah, about 1/3, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, this is one opportunity for new construction if you want it, but again, it's not that centrally located.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where, the newer communities, they're really nice, the homes are really cute. The thing is, you notice that the lots are very tight. That's just, these lots come at a premium, and they're building almost on all of it. So it's one of those things where you just got to be aware of, it's kind of like, okay, well, what do you want? Because obviously you have a certain budget in mind that affords you so much house, so like a certain size lot, all that stuff. So it's just really a personal preference at the end of the day of what makes the most sense for you. But I will say that what's nice though about these homes here is that at least it's not one of those, so there's different new constructions. Obviously not all new constructions are created equal. So some of the new construction that we're seeing right now, and it's the trend throughout the whole country, is you're going vertical really fast, right? So you're it is a house, quote unquote, but it's got very narrow, the lot lines are really tiny. And on top of that, you're going up. So let's say it's a 3-story house where you have the garage on the bottom floor, and then living area on the second floor, and then the bedrooms on the top floor. And it's just very rapid ascents up and down. And the thing is that for some people that works great. And for other people, they just can't, they want that 2-story home. And finding a brand new construction 1-story home, that's tricky. That's very tricky these days.
Is that even possible?
There's not much of it for sure. But the 2-story homes are becoming more and more of a rarity, right? Mm-hmm. So this does offer that.
So Foothill Ranch isn't as new as where we are now, which is Portola Hills. So
yeah, and a lot of people get confused. There's Portola Hills and Portola Springs. So Portola Hills is in Lake Forest, newer construction stuff. Portola Springs is in Irvine, newer construction stuff. So it kind of throws people off. Yeah, and also you'll see there's lots of, again, parks and sport courts and everything.
Yeah.
This is Orange County, the land of 10,000 parks. Well, actually, that's Irvine, we call it that, but Orange County itself has that whole vibe.
Yeah, well, because it's just, the weather is so nice here that you'll always, no matter what time of day, day of the week, whatever, you'll always see people out and about enjoying the beautiful weather. That is why people put up with the high taxes to live here.
And high prices.
And high prices, high home prices.
And Whiting Ranch, this is a great place to go running and all that stuff, and hiking. So what is nice is that you are near a lot of outdoorsy activities. Now, you might be further, like you were mentioning, east than what a lot of people want to do, but you do have the 241 freeway. So if you're willing to pay the toll, and depending on where you're from, it may be no big deal. It's just that for us being native Southern Californians, paying a toll just kills my soul a little bit, every time. So it's great to have when you need it, but I will take that trek down one of these arteries to the 5 freeway to avoid paying the toll the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Portola is another one of those major roads, it kind of almost runs parallel to the 5 freeway, sort of. So this is, again, the far east version of that. So this is kind of connecting a lot of what's going on in South County.
You can see to the right of us is Foothill Corporate Center, so you can start seeing where you get these buildings. You can see how Lake Forest, similar to Irvine, another theme, it has a decent amount, especially for a South County city, of places that you could actually work. So So now we have arrived at, quote, Foothill Ranch. And you can kind of see, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see that...
The beige is coming out.
The beige, yeah. The 90s beige. This is very 90s Southern California.
South County.
Well, not even that. I mean, if you go to any place in Southern California built in the 90s, it kind of looks like this.
Yes.
So...
And this is Foothill Ranch Community Park right here. So we'll go, we'll stop by there in a bit. But basically, yeah, so we'll just kind of drive through the Foothill Ranch community just to kind of give a sense of what's going on here. The stucco, actually this one has a little siding here, which is kind of interesting. You're like, oh.
Well, and some of it is gated, some of it's not. So that's just something to know as well.
Yeah, but this is very South County. Like this is like the definition.
This is like your cookie cutter South County 1990s community.
Yeah, you dropped me in here. I'm going, well, where am I in South County? Because I'm like, this could be Aliso Viejo. This could be a bunch like Mission Viejo,
could
Rancho Santa Margarita. Like it's really hard to tell here, but yeah, Foothill Ranch does offer. So like the Lake Forest is fascinating because you have stuff that's built in the 70s, sections of it built in the 90s, and then you have like brand new stuff going on as we speak. So you kind of have a little bit of everything. It's like, what's your flavor? And Lake Forest actually, so it has definitely its pockets of more expensive stuff for sure. So Baker Ranch as well as Portola Hills, because they're newer construction and everything, they're actually not, they're on the pricier side. You'll get in the multi-millions pretty quick. And then obviously some of this the Foothill Ranch stuff, like some of the older stuff in Lake Forest, it becomes much more reasonable. And obviously, again, it is less than Irvine, so that's a huge plus. But again, you're not that far away from Irvine. You literally border, Irvine right here. So it's one of those things where you just don't have the Irvine name. Again, for some people, that's super important because, again, because it's got the name, because it's got the school district. Again, we listen to you people. Like, we know what people are in, again, based off of the feedback, what drives people to our channel. And Irvine is just a huge, huge driver. But at the end of the day, you can get a lot of what Irvine has to offer with some of these other cities. And again, not to say that like Lake Forest is, like some people actually will prefer Lake Forest to Irvine just because they just don't like the extent to what, Irvine, again, it's just Irvine's just too much for them in some form or fashion. That's why I'm always giving options of, okay, you came for Irvine, but what is it that you're looking for? Here are some other communities to consider. Inevitably, I have a lot of people that go, you know what, actually, I thought I wanted Irvine, but I liked what Aliso Viejo had to offer. I like what Laguna Niguel had to offer. I like what Lake Forest has to offer. So it really just depends on what's important for you.
So here we're leaving Foothill Ranch Community Park. So we did a little side video. Avoid living in Lake Forest.
Shameless plug.
Unless you can handle these things. So I don't know which order I'm going to post it in. So subscribe to this channel if you'd like to get our opinion about that. So I know I've said this earlier, but we've kind of been winding around Lake Forest. So now we're going to go to kind of like a little commercial center of Lake Forest. Again, similar to Irvine, so there is opportunity to actually work in the same city that you live with Lake Forest. That's one nice thing about Lake Forest. It kind of bleeds from the Irvine side over into Lake Forest, some of the big areas for jobs. So
perfect. Yeah, and actually that's another thing that they're talking about bleeding in. So the Irvine Spectrum is like kind of like the probably major employment hub of Orange County, right? I mean, Orange County has several of them, but the Irvine Spectrum is just huge because that's where the 5 freeway and the 405 freeway meet. And so where that is that you have a ton of headquarters there, tons. And what's weird about it is that Lake Forest, I don't even know if I'm in Irvine or Lake Forest at a certain part of the spectrum, right?
For sure, yeah.
So like some of these major roads, like Bake Parkway, obviously has a lot of these office buildings and stuff, but there are other parts, like as you get closer to Irvine, as you get closer to the 5 freeway and where Irvine is it you're like, am I in Irvine? Am I in like Lake Forest? Because it's all bleeding together.
Yeah, for sure.
So long story short, tons of employment opportunities right around here.
Yeah. And again, going back to Lake Forest, it's really similar to Irvine, but not as expensive. Although sometimes, you know, residents will get very mad if you say Lake Forest is similar to Irvine, which I don't understand why, because Irvine is like
nice.
And it's one of the most desirable places to live in the country. So you're like, wait, why is that bad?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you're an alternative to Irvine. I mean, yes, you know, and that's the thing. Whenever I'm having conversations with people, like, and let's say they are looking for Irvine, I might have mentioned this in the video. You know, there's a series of questions I asked to kind of get a sense of, okay, what's important for you? Because a lot of these other cities may check off the boxes, and what you thought you might like in Irvine, you actually might like more in some of these other cities. In particular, price is one of them, but it's not, even like with price not even being considered, some people just like the feel of, like, let's say Lake Forest more than Irvine, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're going into Town Center Plaza. This is just one of these strip malls, but also kind of bleeds into, like, these are some corporate offices, and this is just one of countless.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar, you know, flavor of what the corporate parks look like in Lake Forest, kind of like these prefab buildings. So
yes, exactly. If you're looking for truly authentic,
beautiful architecture.
Yes, like, that's not, you're gonna find that it's four walls are prefabricated,
Yeah.
put up, roof on, and it's done very quickly and very efficiently, but it's not blowing your mind as far as just the sheer architectural wonder that they are.
I mean, if you're looking for architectural wonders, I don't know if Orange County is the right place
Hey
for
now.
you.
Yeah, and then so we're about to go into Baker Ranch. Actually, we're very close to Baker Ranch here. And this is one of those newer developments. So newer as well as more brand new. So you have the Meadows, I believe to our left, that is like brand new ongoing stuff. And then you have like Baker Ranch proper, which is, you know, not, again, it's a like a few years older. It's nothing particularly old, but it's very, very popular here.
You can see on to our left some more prefab buildings, corporate plaza. So that's all over the place here.
So that's like Baker Ranch Community Park is right here.
So now we're heading into kind of like Baker Ranch proper, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and so these are your typical two-story homes, like, you know, again, newer construction. Not brand new here, but definitely newer, especially for Orange County standards, for sure.
What's that? Vista Swim Club. Orange County, a hotbed for swimming. So if you have little swimmers,
Yeah, no kidding.
they definitely can pursue their Olympic dreams here in Orange County.
Or have them be crushed.
Or have them be crushed.
Better to know sooner than later, I
Better
guess.
to know sooner rather than later, yes. Yeah, so now we're just going through kind of like typical Baker Ranch. Again, super popular part of Lake Forest. Again, we are like definitely farther east though. So this might be, you know, some people, they want to be as close to the coast as they can possibly be, you know, within their budget. So this might be a little bit too far east. It definitely gets hotter in the summer for sure here than it is on the coast. So
yeah, and then obviously, yeah, you'll see kind of like this is the typical architecture that's going on here. This is very indicative of Baker Ranch, but really cute. I mean, again, people really like Baker Ranch a lot. Again, it's newer. The Melrose actually isn't so Melrose is additional tack on to property taxes for homes that are I would say built post 2000. Not every development has the Melrose, but basically it can range from almost nothing to nearly doubling. Like, so Rancho Mission Viejo, for instance, some areas there, like it can actually be effectively a tax rate of 1.9%, like full, which is like nearly the doubling of a 1.1% typical baseline. So it's one of those things where, you know, and then of course you have HOA dues as well. So it's one of those things where when you're interested in the area, we would give you, okay, this is what the Melrose fee is per year. This is what the HOA dues are per month. And then obviously as we dig in way deeper, like we can find out, okay, well, what's a potential, you know, fire insurance premium. So all these things to really give you a sense of the complete cost of everything.
Okay, so just a little explanation here that we didn't give on the spot in the video, but we've made it to The Woods, which is a neighborhood of about 400 homes in Lake Forest, and why the city of Lake Forest has the word forest in its name. The Woods is a neighborhood that is extremely unusual for Southern California because it's built within a densely packed forest of imported eucalyptus trees and also has a ravine. And just an FYI that this unique setting comes with flooding and fire risks. This sort of living isn't for everyone, as it doesn't come with the sunlight that Southern California is so famous for, and there is a lot more tree and plant debris to maintain. But it's also a unique and beautiful neighborhood that hundreds of people love and call home. So that's why Lake Forest has the forest in its name. Now the lake, that's another.
So yeah, so that's like The Woods, right? So that's a fascinating little community there. And then again, eucalyptus groves are all over the place, but that The Woods is like really pretty impressive how they've done it. So actually, we're gonna take you to the lake because it's right next to the woods here, so.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, they do say here, it's they do have a sun and sail club. So apparently you can even sail here.
Yeah, and just to be clear, you can't go on that lake unless you're part of this residential community. So, you know, at least in Mission Viejo, residents of Mission Viejo can use the lake, whereas only residents of this particular housing community can use this lake, so. After another endless light, we have finally hit green.
So to our left is the lake.
Yes, the beloved lake of Lake Forest.
So it's a lake.
Yeah, it's a lake.
It's a lake.
I mean, it's a cute little lake, you know.
Yes.
It would be nice to live there for sure, but it's not a large lake.
So yeah, so it says, so this is use restricted to Lake Forest 2 residents. So yeah, so this gives you a sense of, I guess, well, someone is actually fishing there. So I stand corrected. Apparently you can fish here. I guess you do have, I mean, I guess there are motorboats per se, but again, we're not talking about like, you're not jet skiing here or anything like that. And then they have like little, you know, volleyball courts. It's really cute. It's just that it's, again, it's just not a robust, huge lake.
Yeah. for sure.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.